Hi, it's Matthew Dixon of mindaid.ca. I've got some good news today. I have reached out to Eastlink TV, and they're mostly in Atlantic Canada, some other places across Canada. She mentioned the Sunshine Coast, I think some places in the prairies, maybe Ontario. And they are putting my promo ad for MindAid, a 30-second ad I made recently. If you go back behind this video on my YouTube channel, you'll see it there fairly soon. 30-second promo video. It's already been playing on CHCO TV in St. Andrews, New Brunswick, as well as Tilleel TV in Cape Breton. Eastlink has a much larger coverage, and I'm incredibly happy about that. She says she won't charge me, which is amazing, and they want to, excuse me, have me come on and do an interview, perhaps at the studio or virtually later in the spring, maybe around Mental Health Week in May. And they said they might even get me to speak to their staff and volunteers about mental health in the workplace and whatnot. So, yeah, just got that news now, and I thought I'd share it with you. That is going to be the biggest sort of advertising for MindAid I've had yet, and I'm just over the moon about that. So yeah, I just wanted to share that. The other idea I had was for signage, for signs. I've been thinking of putting a mindaid.ca little image file that someone could download off the MindAid website, and they could take that to a graphic sign shop, whatever, and have it put on a sign, any kind of sign, bumper sticker or sign for your front lawn or whatever. I'm in New Brunswick here. I know other provinces and states have their own rules about signs in their area. In New Brunswick, they're fairly strict about signs on the side of the road. I've talked to the highway person who deals with signage, and they've got rules about all that. And Moncton, New Brunswick, and Shediac, New Brunswick are a bit more lenient on what they can put on billboards on the side of the highway. So, and those I'm assuming there'd be a charge to those, probably hundreds of dollars a month or something to have a big billboard up somewhere. The idea I have now is if I put a mindaid.ca image file on MindAid, you could download that and put it on a little two-prong thing in your front lawn. I don't think there's any rules around that. I'll ask. That's my next step, is to ask the sign lady from New Brunswick what the rules are around that. I'm sure people can put whatever they want in their own front lawn. A little two-prong, 1.5 foot, 2-foot square sign with mindaid.ca on it. If anybody wanted to do that, here in Canada in November, winter's coming. You might not want that on your front lawn with snow, but anyway, in the warmer months, that might be something you'd want to do. I don't know. Let me know if that's something you're interested in. I can make I think for a sign I'd probably just put mindaid.ca and that's it. I could put a little tagline below it saying helping people with mental illness in developing countries. I might just leave it at mindaid.ca. I'll see, and have a fairly simple sign, simple but nice looking. So yeah, other news. I'm tired. In some ways, I'm invigorated, refreshed, ready to start anew. I'm also tired of just fighting for my life. It can take a toll on you, and to be able to sit here and just enjoy life, the passing of time, not the killing of time, doing things to kill time because you don't want to just. I get to have time just pass now. I get to enjoy it and watch it go by, and I don't have to fight for each moment. In the last couple weeks or so, I can sit out at the ocean here. I live on the ocean. I can sit in my car. It's a bit colder now. I don't particularly enjoy sitting outside for too long. I get cold. My car, it's warmer. The sun can beam through the car here and warm the car up. And I look out at the ocean for a few hours, and it just gives me great joy. I don't have to fight. I get to just enjoy being alive, and there's some part of me that is just tired, and I've been wanting a break for a long time. And I don't mean like I'm going to take months off from Mind Aid or anything like that. Nothing like that by any means. I'll keep working on this for sure. But I remember when I was in the hospital, first diagnosed with this disease in 1994, and all I wanted was a break. I remember thinking, I can go all day with this pain. I can do it. Just give me 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Just give me a 5-minute break, 10-minute break. Just a break from this, because it was exhausting. And I'm getting breaks like that now. It's I get to just sit here and enjoy and not have to fight. It's a wonderful, wonderful gift. And something else that happened the other day with my mind was, for example, I forget what year it was, maybe 10, 15 years into my recovery, in the 2010 or 2008, I forget what year it was, but I was walking down the street and I felt something on my face. I'm like, oh my gosh, what's that? What's on my face? It was the wind. I hadn't noticed the wind on my face for years, and it surprised me. And I remember maybe around that time too, I was like scratching my hand or something, and all of a sudden I could feel the skin on my hand, and it felt very rubbery. I just hadn't it's like, my analogy for this is, it's like you're playing a game of football and you're tackle football, people are coming at you, you're rolling around in the grass, and the next day you've got a bruise or two on your leg or somewhere, and you have no idea how you got it. You just don't remember. I don't remember getting hit there. And someone hit you, you got the bruise, but your mind just didn't register it. That's kind of like what it was with me with schizophrenia. You're just so bombarded by things, other senses just go unnoticed. And what happened the other day, just 2 days ago, I think, I was sitting in a parking lot and looked maybe 150, 200 meters up the way, just waiting for someone and staring off into space. And I could see a building up there, and I thought, oh, it's... and then I sensed my hand, because sort of my hand was in that in general area, and I realized, oh wow, that building's like 200 meters away, and my hand, my arm is only, I don't know how long my arm is, 3 feet, 2.5 feet, I don't know what it is, but I could sense the length. With schizophrenia, my sense, the geospatial part of my brain wasn't working properly. Dimensions like length, width, height, shapes, circles, lines. I wasn't really, it was hard to grasp those. It was like visually everything was just coming at me and disordered and chaotic. Even though it wasn't, I could paint you a picture very easily of what I could see in front of me. But it just felt like I just couldn't sense, there's no space. It's like the Big Bang Theory. The universe was at once, I think, a singularity, that's what they called it. The entire universe was just like in a little baseball or golf ball or something, and then it blew up one day and expanded across the universe. Isn't that mind-blowing? Universe blowing. And that's sort of what it felt like. It's there was just no space. It's like my entire life was just this little golf ball of matter. I don't know. There's just no matter around me. It just there was no Big Bang. There was just nothing out there in my life, in what I would see in front of me in the room or outside. There was just no matter, no space. It was it's kind of freaky. And what I realized not realized, but sort of was paying attention to, like I one day paid attention to the wind on my face, was that my arm could not stretch 200 meters over to that building. I was aware that more body awareness of just, oh, my arm isn't, like my hand, when I look off into the distance here, my hand isn't way over there. My hand is right here in front of me, not 200 meters that way. I was just more of aware of the length of 200 meters than the length of my arm. Little things like that. I'm in the tweaking phase of this disease. I feel pretty darn good. But there's just little things that sort of pop in and pop out as I It's been the last 6 months or so, maybe roughly, that I've been able to just tweak more. And it's just been putting the past behind me. It's yeah. So, and at the same time, so I'm tired, but I'm also invigorated. I'm so excited for the future. I have days where I'm feeling really good, and other days where I'm just tired and just wanting a break. And I take breaks. It's just nice to sit here and enjoy being alive. And I've read that people, when they go from one stage to another, they can kind of flip flop from one stage to the next. They have one foot in the sometimes they have one foot in the next stage. Some days they have one foot in the previous stage, and you kind of flip flop back and forth. It's kind of where I am. So it's yeah. Anyway, I wanted to share that about Eastlink and whatever I was talking about on this video. Went on a bit of a rant here. Anywho, that's where I am. I need to start looking for more speaking opportunities. I've gotten some already, 2 already, and I need to start digging more on that. And yeah, I still am rumbling around the idea of doing uh, a Zoom or Google Meet for people, and putting a Facebook ad online for it by city, like give a Halifax talk and put a Facebook ad, geo-target by Halifax, and talk to people in Halifax on Zoom, give a talk there by Zoom. I can do it virtually and go across Canada that way, go across the States that way. And I mentioned this to someone, a speaker, and he said, you could probably do that, Matthew. He said, you might want to partner with an organization, like a mental health organization in that city, whatever city it is, as you go across Canada, and say, look, I'm giving this talk. Would you know anybody who'd want to speak with me on this Zoom? And you could put it out to their audience as well to get more people signing up for it. So I don't know. My mind's just sort of, I'm throwing a lot of spaghetti at the wall, you could say. Throwing a lot of spaghetti and seeing what sticks. So, yeah, still struggling for money, but scraping by. I've got some money coming in from my driving job, and it's not the best financially. I like my driving job if I have to do a regular job, but I want to work on my mental health stuff the most. So speaking is where I need to be at. So a recent video I talked about too was a top bottom moment I'm having that I could feel coming up. The last couple of days I was having some big steps towards the top bottom moment. I feel quite sober today, not quite bubbly. I'm a little just very sober. When you've been pummeled, tossed about like a rag doll, as I've been for decades, and then the pummeling just stops. It gives you time to think. I didn't have time to think for years because I was fighting for each moment. And the sobriety, not that I've had addiction problems ever. I just call it sobriety, sanity, whatever. I don't know. I just get to, I don't know. There's things going through my head, but we all are. It's like the movie Phenomenon with John Travolta. Yeah, someone says to him, everyone's going through something. Everyone's going through something, Matthew. So, anywho, it's not just me. I think a lot of us have things like this going on in our lives that we don't talk about as much with other people. And maybe we'd like to ask someone, what's going on in your life? Sometimes people need prying, I think, to talk about some of the more deeper things in our lives. It might take a bit of prying from people. And sometimes we think, well, I don't want to bother that person. I don't know them that well. Maybe I shouldn't ask them about this. Maybe they think I'd be too intrusive or prying. But a lot of us want to talk about stuff. And that's the premise of a book, Talk to Strangers by David Topus. It's one of the books I highly recommend. It's on my list of best mental health tips. He talks about how to approach strangers and talk to them. And one of the themes of the book is people leave the house each day and they want to hopefully meet somebody new, meet some new people. A lot of us are like that. Some of us are introverts and don't want to meet anybody. But a lot of us, are sort of hoping, oh, maybe I'll meet somebody new today. And we're not the best at talking to strangers. And anyway, check out Kalina Silverman's Big Talk too. She skips the small talk and asks people the bigger questions in life. And she's got a great platform. Anyway, more ranting, more meandering, more rambling. Anyway, thanks so much, everybody. I'm super excited about the Eastlink videos, the ad promotion, and I'm, tickled pink about that. So let me know if anybody wants a sign on the front lawn. You don't have to, if you want one, you don't have to put it up right now with winter coming. Maybe you're in a warm part of the world and would like to have one. But I think they're relatively cheap. Maybe to get one, it might be, I don't know. I phoned a sign shop and I think she said something like $30, $40 to have a little 2-prong metal sign that you could stick into your lawn. Anywho, I'll leave it at that. Thanks so much. Let's have a little party for Mind Aid for the Eastlink ad. Let's have a little party. If any of you, along with me here on this ride, the Mind Aid ride, put on a song or two. Have a little dance. I'm tickled pink about this. Anyway, talk to you later.